is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here at the Worldwide Technology Speedway. We've had a heck of a weekend. This is the last running for the Vintage Indy cars, and looks like we got a full set of probably about 20-some cars here, all eras, all makes, all models. And Alex Jr. is the pace car driver. Mike Lashmett is the individual that started Vintage Indy about 5 years ago, and he's done a great job. And we look forward to working with the owners on their documentaries of the history of their cars and their love of the sport. And I've had a great time here this weekend as well. And tonight is the IndyCar race, which is basically doing an autograph session right now. We're able to see the drivers out front, but I look forward to working with these guys in the future and helping save their stories. And this will also be at voicesofracing.com and vintageindyregistry.com. So thank you. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here with Vintage Indy, Mike Lashmett and Terry Trader. Mike, what do you know about this guy?
I grew up with Terry. He's a little bit older than me, a year or two, and he's an outstanding kart racer, 10-time IKF champion, legend. His dad was Gus Trader, owner and founder of TNT Kartways in West Quincy, Missouri, and also the founder of the famed Quincey Grand Prix of karting, which Terry now runs. And we took Al Jr. back there a year ago as Grand Marshal and hope to take him back again.
So have you enjoyed being here today?
Mike has done a beautiful job with this Vintage Indy. I think the amount of people that are coming through and looking at all these beautiful cars is fantastic, and I think it helps an overall part of the event. They can really get close and touch and feel it. And I'm really enjoying meeting the people that are involved with it. They're very high caliber and nice people, and they're kind of chasing their dream. They always wanted to be in an IndyCar. Well, now they got their chance.
How did you think it went this weekend?
Another fabulous weekend, our 5th year here. We consider this our home track. It's the first track that Vintage Indy ever ran at back in 2018, and we hope to keep just coming back here. I might add that the Quincy Grand Prix of karting is karting's Le Mans, Indy 500, and Daytona 500 all rolled into one. It's the world's greatest karting event in an absolutely beautiful and spectacular venue. Quincy, Illinois is a beautiful city on the Mississippi River. Incredible hospitality there, and anybody that's never been, I encourage them to go.
All right, well, it's very nice to meet you, and it's a pleasure. Congratulations on your career. And Mike, I always appreciate being able to help out Vintage Indy. This will be also at voicesofracing.com. What would you like to say, Mike?
Well, just going to add that Terry is in the Karting Hall of Fame. He's an absolute icon in the world of kart racing. So It's a pleasure to have him here.
All right, well, thank you. And we're here at the Worldwide Technology Speedway, and it looks like it turned out to be a beautiful day.
Thanks, Sean.
You got it. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. John Sweeney, you just ran on the track. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
All right, so when did you acquire this beautiful Pennzoil IndyCar?
I've owned this car about 4 years now.
And this is the first weekend you've been able to run it, is that right?
That's correct, first weekend, yep.
What type of modifications did you have to do to the car since you got it?
Well, it didn't really need any modifications, but we did some restoration to it. And we had to get it back in order. It sat for many years without running. And so it was kind of a long process. Took us a few years, and finally we've got it back in running condition.
All right, so how did you find out about Vintage Indy?
You know, just through Doran Racing, and he informed us of that, and that's where the car stays, at Doran Racing, and so he got us involved with Vintage Indy.
So what was it like for you to run on this track today?
Oh, it was a thrill. It was a thrill. Absolute thrill.
And how fast did you get it up to?
The radar guy said that we had it up to 125 today. They limited us to 130, so we had it up to 125.
And how was it handling out there?
Beautifully, handled beautiful.
Is there anything else you think that needs to be improved on it?
No, the car is absolutely just as good as it can be, I think.
And where are you based?
Well, the car is in Cincinnati, in Lebanon, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. That's where Doran Racing is.
Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your weekend here, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Wonderful.
And you've got a very beautiful historical car.
I appreciate that very much. Thanks for coming by.
You got it. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. Nate Dreyer, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Sean?
All right, so your role with Vintage Indy, you're the track announcer for all of their events when they're running.
Yes.
All right, so we've had 2 days here. So tell me a little bit about your involvement with Vintage Indy, how long it's been, and just about this weekend.
Yeah, so this is my third full season now as the voice of the series, the track PA announcer for Vintage Indy. You know, it's been a really cool opportunity with Mike to get to tell the stories about some of these cars throughout the weekend, travel with the NTT IndyCar series as well. And this is such an incredible weekend too here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I have some great guys up in the PA booth that I always like working with when I come here, and then also great crowd, incredible group of cars we've got. 26 plus cars this weekend. This is always a fun event to get to be a part of, and it's just terrific. I love this weekend, love this series. It was a lot of fun.
So what do you try to keep top of mind when you're up there and when you're covering them running?
Yeah, so for me, it's so different than when you're doing like normal broadcasting. You're thinking about doing play-by-play for the sports or racing, because you're trying to tell a story. So you're keeping in mind, talking about the way the cars changed in the 60s, the aero developments of the 70s, so on and so forth. And it's trying to weave car to car, putting some of those things together, talking about whatever the main stories that weekend is, trying to go with the flow a little bit based on what the action on track is, but really trying to keep the story connected, bounce around, keep people interested, but have something linear and something in terms of this car connects to this car, and try to paint that picture. And it changes every week, and I change even session to session sometimes, like how I'm trying to blend those things.
So I know your goals are eventually to be the top announcer for IndyCar, but dealing with a lot of these vintage guys, what do you really love about dealing with the old cars, the ones that have really the backstories?
I think for racing, it is so important to tell new fans, experienced fans. I think more than any other form of normal sport or whatever, it's so important to know the history, to know why is it that we do things the way we do, how the cars got to where they are today. And that's what I love about these session opportunities, to be able to tell those stories to the fans. All the cars are so unique, the people behind them that own them, that built the cars originally. I love being able to tell those stories, where that does differ from the modern racing. Obviously, as you mentioned, love racing, want to be a part of it, but there's something really, really cool about these old stories and how it connects to where we are today.
And where are you from?
I am from the West Michigan area. I'm from Holland, Michigan, so right on Lake Michigan there, and love it there too.
So what started your passion in the sport?
So I actually come from a racing family. My family owns a company called Autoform Group. We do racing stuff, performance stuff, so on for the Dodge Viper is how we got into things. A lot of racing early on. We were part of the Viper Days series, still build race parts forever to this day. So got involved with racing from when I was very young. The second I could start talking and playing with cars on like cardboard tracks, I was calling stuff and wanting to be a race announcer. So it was kind of from birth almost, I was always wanting to do this.
All right, well, I appreciate your time and also your service and dedication to the sport. Obviously, Vintage Indy is your home, but I hope you always grow and expanded at bigger and better things for your career. And I think you do a great job.
Thank you very much.
You got it. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here with Vintage Indy weekend at the Worldwide Technology Speedway. What is your name, sir?
Jim Weddle.
Jim Weddle. Now, you were just out on the track this morning, is that right?
We were out yesterday and again today.
This is your first time bringing this car out on the track.
With this particular car, first time out.
All right, so let's take a look at it here. And let's hear a little bit of history on it.
Well, it's a 1987 March. It's got a 159 cubic inch Ford engine in it, turbocharged, makes 700 horsepower. And Arie Luyendyk drove this at the Brickyard in 1987 and qualified at 2:08 inside of the third row.
Did you feel that your spirit invoked his spirit?
Oh, I don't know about that. He stopped by yesterday, exceptionally nice guy, told me all about this car and how well he liked driving it. But yeah, he got a lot more out of it than I ever will.
Now, didn't he sign this car?
He did, right on the side.
Let's check that out. So there's Arie's signature right there, made it official with his stamp. So how was it driving it on the track today? How did it handle?
Smooth, amazing, great power. Car is just flat down the straights and flat through the corners. Amazing car.
And you've got a couple other, don't you, in your collection?
I do. I've got a couple Roadsters. One is a 1953 and the other is 1961. And then I've got a rear engine car, a Mongoose. It was made in 1967.
And where are you based?
Right here in St. Louis.
Right here in St.
Home
Louis.
track.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourself this weekend and the race tonight. And we're going to talk a little bit more about hopefully saving the histories of the rides and your passion of the sport.
There you go. Thanks for being here.
You got it. How you doing, Skip? Good. You excited to get on the track today?
Absolutely.
How fast you going to run?
Fast as you can.
Fast as you can.
Fast as we should.
And how long has it been since you took this one out?
About 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, at least.
Well, listen, I hope you have a safe run and you've earned it.
Thank you.
You got it. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. I'm here with a legend that is now driving his own car, Skip Hendricks. How you doing, Skip?
Red?
So give me a little backstory. So when did you first get started in racing?
When I was about 9 years old,
9 years old. What were you running then?
I had a little car my dad built, and the 1.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor and Piper Cub wheels, and it was neat. And I had a school buddy. His name was Toad, and he had a Powell motor scooter. Well, I could beat him going across the level and downhill, but he could just barely edge me out going uphill. So I thought, well, my dad and my brother were working on an engine in the shop, and they were doing the valves on it. And so I was sitting on a chair watching them. So I got the buddy next door to help me lift the Briggs & Stratton up on the bench. And so we got up on the bench and taking it apart and stuff. And my mom comes out. She says, "What have you done to that engine?" I said, "I'm just going to lap the valves." And she says, "What? Your father's going to kill you." She walks away. So anyway, so I lapped the valves and put it back together. And the last one I tapped the valve and the split keeper went boom out on the garage floor. Well, it took George, the guy that was helping me, and myself were on our hands and knees trying to find this little tiny keeper. I finally got some magnets and finally got it. So I went back and put my hand over it so when I seated it, so it was in there. So it was great. So I put it all back together. Got him to help me put it back on the car, the engine. And that was about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. So I go put up the driveway, and my mom comes down the step. She says, "Where'd you get that engine?" I said, "Same way, Mom." She says, "No, it's not." So she went off, throttled down to the shop, and I drove off the driveway and found Toad, and I beat him. Uphill, downhill, on the level. So that was my first encounter in racing, I guess.
Okay. So how did you originally get connected with this team and this car?
Well, I was working for Luigi Lusovsky, and then I found out that these guys needed help, and it was hard to get along with Luigi. So I went down and talked to Herb Porter, and he hired me. So that was the company was owned by Ambrose, and its name was Racing Associates. So I was working for Racing Associates, and we built this car, and we built another car for Donnie Davis to drive. And it was a little bit different, but still about the same. So I went back to Indy with him on 62 and helped with the car.
So you're a mechanic. Did you also drive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sure. How many races did you start in?
Well, I ran it at Trent, New Jersey, and got my championship license, driver's license. and then in Milwaukee, and then in Phoenix. So I drove up there. So that was pretty much this car.
All right, this is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here with Bill Nitschke. What's the name of your organization, sir?
Wonder Wheels BMX.
And you guys travel all over the United States, is that right?
All over the world.
All over the world.
We're everywhere you want to be.
That's beautiful. So who do you got here with you today? Who's
We
the
got
talent?
Michael Teal, and we got Blake Osborne. Blake's right. Well, there's Rich Hoppy behind me. He's going to do the announcing, also a rider. Blake Osborne right here with the pink rims, getting ready to hit the quarter pipe.
Nice.
Ooh, it's windy out here, man. This is going to be challenging but fun.
So did you do a lot of races as far as pairing with IndyCar races?
Nah, not a whole lot of IRL events, you know, just it's entertainment, you know. It kind of comes and goes, and you do things and you move on, do something else, and so yeah, it's good times. I'm glad to be here though. This is a good thing.
Well, it's good seeing you outside of Indianapolis, bro.
Yeah, bringing Indy to St. Louis, and here we are.
That's right, man.
Woo!
All right, you guys have a great day.
Right
Good
on,
seeing
Sean.
you. You got it, man. Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis, and we'd like to talk to these two gentlemen who are both champions in their own right. Sir, what is your name?
My name's Terry Trader from Quincy, Illinois.
And sir?
Grant Palmer.
All right, so let's talk about your championships. What championships do you have?
Well, I ran karting basically for 36 years, and I raced from east to west coast, and I won 10 national championship, International Kart Federation championships, and the biggest thing I did though is I won 2 professional championships, nationwide championships, and where I ran against the best drivers in the country from east to west coast, and you know, it was those were the big events. And I retired in 1994, so it's been a while, but you know, those are great memories, and it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people, a lot of guys that went into kart and went into racing here, like Scott Pruitt, Scott Goodyear, Mark Dismore. Those guys all, you know, ran Indy cars and did reasonably well doing that. So I'm trying to tell this young man here that karting is where you build your foundation, and then you take it from there, just like Alonso Jr. did. He actually started in karting as well. So that's we run a big race in Quincy, the Quincy Grand Prix. It's the second week in June 10th and 11th for 2023. Everybody ought to come up and see it. It's a great show.
And what was your first year in racing?
I started when I was 6 and a half.
When you were 6 and a half?
Yeah, 1958.
Okay, and yourself, what was your first year?
My first year was August 1st, 2015. It was here at Mainland. So
Okay.
right over at the go-kart track.
And what were your championships?
Right now the only championship I've got is the SCCA Super Tour in 2020. And then I ended up living in the United Kingdom for about 6 months.
Okay.
Racing Formula 4. So hopefully we're back on the road team next year, hopefully.
Well, I commend you on your career, and I give you luck for the rest of your career.
He's got a lot of chances to get more championships, okay?
All right. We're going to watch these vintage Indy cars run here.
All right, thanks a lot.
You guys have a good day.
Have a great day.
You too. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here at Worldwide Technology Speedway in St. Louis. Doc Logan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Sean. How are you today?
I'm all right. And what's your name, sir?
Scott McClendon Jr.
Scott McClendon Jr. Where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
And did you guys know each other because of being in the same market?
Absolutely. We've known each other for quite a while, especially through the Vintage Indy.
Yep.
And so how did you get involved in Vintage Indy?
Got involved in Vintage Indy because I actually walked across the bridge to get over here to talk to Andretti Autosport engineer about getting into racing and trying to fulfill my dreams as a race car driver. And then I took the Metrolink, rode my bike over here, skated over here to race karts and all that stuff. And I got an interview with one of the news reporters due to the help of John Bishi from media, and Mike found it on the newspaper, and then he reached out to me through Keith Freeber and Keith Scharf, and gave me the opportunity to ride in Indy at the Battle of the Brickyard, and that was my first away race. So ever since then we've been really good buddies, and then Mike introduced me to Doc Logan, and we've been pretty good ever since then.
So when did you get started racing yourself?
I started racing in 2016 doing what's called super mileage, Missouri super mileage program, where we basically hand build a cart from scratch, and we get the most miles per gallon out of it, and it's a sequential bike gear cart, and we got the first year 230 something miles to the gallon, and that's what started my real life karting. But before that, I was on the sim racing in simulators at 14, because I just loved playing racing games and all that stuff. So racing has always been in me as a passion, but 2016 is when I started that and continued to grow it.
So Doc, you've been in the biz for a long time. You even have a couple Silver Crown cars, is that right?
Oh yeah.
So give us just a kind of a brief overview of your involvement in the sport.
Starting in 1979, raced quarter midgets with my two sons, and we raced for the Southern Illinois Quarter Midget Association. We're at a racetrack, so we got noise in the background from the engine. We won our first heat, our first feature, and in our rookie year, we won the track championship with one driver and the points championship with the other driver. That was a pretty good start. And took a hiatus, worked in the United States Auto Club in '93, Silver Crown Division. Ran several cars in that for several years, off and on. And did the IndyCars in 2000. Made history, first solely owned African-American IndyCar team in history. And from there, we've been up and down, back and forth, doing whatever we could do. Working with some of the other teams over the years, both with the Infinity Pro, which is now Indy Lights, as well as the IRL, which is where I started. When I met Mike Lashmett in 2017, he actually introduced me to his new series, which is Vintage Indy. He asked me to join that. I said, sure, I'd like to do that. Mike knew a lot about my history from the past. We became instant friends. When he introduced me to Scott was doing karting, and I've got what's called the driver development program. It's really something that's been in a concept since the early 2000s, and what we try to do is find young people who are interested in becoming involved with auto racing, not just from a driver standpoint, but from all the other aspects. And it was a really a blessing when Mike introduced me to Scott. As a matter of fact, I think Scott got his first podium in karting under Logan Racing at the TNT racetrack in Quincey. Is that right?
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, that's how we got started, through the introduction with Mike Lashmett with the Vintage Indy Registry.
All right. So I want to stop you for a second. So it was a little loud. Just touch again on when you had a team that got to the 500. You were the first African-American owner.
Well, we're the first African-American with sole ownership of an IndyCar team in the history of the sport. And we actually started the team in 2000 at Indianapolis. We were, for many reasons, unable to actually take the track at Indy, but we did start there. We registered the car and entered it in that event. So that was the beginning of the IndyCar program. We did that for one season, 2000. After that, it was like everybody else in racing, finding the funds to do that. We continued in Silver Crown off and on, though, as a matter of fact, and doing some work with the other series. And the karting involvement actually was as a result of meeting Scott and knowing that that's where he was racing. So we're trying to do whatever we can to elevate the African-American appearance and involvement in the sport. Working with Scott is, like I said, something that I'm hoping to get him to where we can go from the lower series to Silver Crown, possibly Indy Lights, and definitely our goal is to go into the IndyCar, get him in the IndyCar series.
Okay, well, I commend you on your career and helping his career. And I wish you luck on your road ahead, and hopefully you'll be able to still make it happen and get back to Indy with some major sponsors someday.
Yeah, we thank you, Sean, for your involvement and the help that you are to many of the stories in racing.
Well, yeah, we've kind of already done a little bit of saving your life story.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to expanding on that.
Absolutely. We're hoping to get a lot more for you to talk about in the near future.
Well, it's you talking. I'm just trying to guide the road so you can tell your story.
Yeah, well, with you reporting on it, let's put it like that, so you can pass the word out and get more people to the stage where they're aware of what's going on in the racing industry.
All right. Well, I thank you both for your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day with Vintage Indy here at Worldwide Technology Speedway.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks,
you got it. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're with Maggie and Jeff, and we've got Will Power here. Looks like you're a major fan of Will. When did you start becoming a fan of Will?
A little over 2 years ago now.
And why?
Because of his name.
Because of the name of Power.
Because Jeff had invited me on a date to go to the races, and I thought it would be boring, and it was. And I was like, dude, I need somebody to root for. I was like, tell me the name of the drivers.
Will Power.
And I was like, seriously, there's a guy with the name of Will Power? Like, that's his given name? He's like, yeah. I go,
and he's really good.
That's my driver.
Well, you know what? He's a great driver, and I know some people that know him personally, and they know he's a great guy.
He is really nice.
All right, so I'm going to get a little pic of you guys and Will. And I hope you guys have a beautiful time here today. You'll be able to see this at voicesofracing.com.
Thank you.
You got it. Hi, everyone. This is Sean with Voices of Racing. We're here at the Worldwide Technology Speedway in St. Louis with the Vintage Indy car owners. There's about 26 different cars that's been here this weekend. They've been running on the track yesterday and this morning. They got one more session this afternoon. And then IndyCar has their race tonight. It's been a beautiful weekend. We even had Wonder Wheels, BMX, doing tricks in the back. I've known Bill for a little while. It's been a beautiful time getting to know the guys, and we're going to be saving their car stories and love of racing and documentaries for VintageIndyCarStories.com. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy all the footage we had from the whole weekend, and we'll see you at the track.